Pack your bags, we're headed on a big old ride, with dreams of sunlit shores and the open skies, from the hills of Cyprus to where the world collides.
All right, sunshine, history, and amazing food sounds like the perfect recipe for a deep dive, right?
Absolutely. And this time we're whisked away to the beautiful island of Crete.
But here's the twist. We're not just going on any ordinary trip. We're joining Rob and Mandy on their 2012 adventure.
Oh, I love it when we have these personal journeys to explore. It's like we're right there with them.
And their blog is packed with details, photos, all those little moments that make a trip come alive. So they're living in Cyprus at the time. British expats.
Okay, already adding another layer to this, seeing Crete through the eyes of expats, that's got to offer a unique perspective.
Totally. And the adventure kicks off with a short flight from Cyprus, landing in Chania. They rent a car, of course, essential for island exploration.
Can't imagine navigating those winding roads without one. Freedom to explore at your own pace.
And their hotel choice, the Solomar Aquamarine, that was pretty strategic.
Solomar Aquamarine, let me guess, somewhere near Chania, but not right in the heart of it.
You got it. Nestled between the villages of Girani and Malema. So peaceful vibes, but still easy access to the city.
That makes sense. That classic traveler's dilemma, right? Tranquility versus easy access to the action.
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot. But their first stop, after settling in, is all about those authentic Cretan vibes. The charming fishing village of Kolymbari.
Kolymbari. Now we're talking. Fresh seafood, I bet.
Oh, you know it. Grilled octopus, stuffed calamari. They raved about the flavors, all those fresh herbs, the local olive oil.
It's funny how food can transport you, right? Suddenly I can almost smell that salty air, hear the fishing boats.
Right. It's like we're right there with them, savoring every bite. But their next adventure takes them from those charming coastal villages to the open sea. A boat trip from the port of Kissamos.
All right, seafaring adventures. This is where it gets exciting. Where are we headed?
First stop, Grambusa Island, home to a 16th century Venetian fort.
Hold on, a Venetian fort in Crete. Now, that's piquing my historical curiosity.
Right. It's a reminder of those vast empires, their influence stretching across the Mediterranean. And of course, Rob, ever the adventurer, had to climb to the top of that fort.
Of course he did. Classic Rob. Couldn't resist those panoramic views, I bet.
He said they were breathtaking. Rugged cliffs, that endless blue sea, that classic Mediterranean vista.
It's that urge to get a different perspective, isn't it? Climb to the highest point, see the world anew.
Totally. But this boat trip isn't over yet. From that rugged island fort, they sail on to, wait for it, Balos Bay and the famous Blue Lagoon.
Okay, now you're talking picture-perfect scenery. Balos Bay, isn't that the one with the incredible turquoise water?
The one and only. White sand, crystal clear water. It's like something out of a dream.
Yeah.
And, a lagoon is technically a shallow body of water separated from the sea.
Right, by a narrow strip of land, and that creates those unique colors, that almost otherworldly turquoise.
Exactly. So they're soaking up the sun, wading in those crystal clear waters. It's pure paradise, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. And it makes you think, these stunning natural wonders, they're fragile. We've got to protect them.
It's a good reminder that as we explore, we have a responsibility to tread lightly, right? But for now, let's just savor this moment with Rob and Mandy, feeling that sun on our skin, that warm breeze.
Lost in the beauty of it all, the perfect escape. And from those idyllic shores, their Cretan adventure takes a bit of a turn. They ditch the boat for a car and decide to explore the heart of the island.
So they're not just sticking to the coastlines. That's great. They're really getting a feel for all that Crete has to offer.
Exactly. And their first inland stop is a place called Aji Lake. It's a wetland area known for its tranquility and abundant bird life, a haven for nature enthusiasts.
Okay, I can already feel the change of pace, from bustling beaches to serene wetlands. Imagine the quiet, the sounds of nature, the vibrant colors of all those birds. It must have been so peaceful.
It sounds like the perfect antidote to the more touristy spots. They even mentioned driving through a string of charming villages along the way. Skynes Kiers, each with its own unique charm.
Those winding roads lined with olive groves and glimpses of the mountains in the distance. I can practically picture it. It's like a scene straight out of a travel magazine.
Absolutely. And speaking of charming villages, they had a rather heartwarming encounter in a tiny hamlet called Karanos.
Oh, yes. The story of the fresh orange juice. It's one of those small gestures that really encapsulates the warmth of Cretan hospitality.
So picture this. They're admiring a beautiful church perched on a hillside with these sweeping views, and suddenly some locals appear, offering them glasses of freshly squeezed orange juice.
It's those unexpected moments of kindness that often become the most cherished travel memories, wouldn't you say? Makes you realize that travel is about so much more than just ticking off sites on a list.
Absolutely. It's those human connections that truly enrich the experience. But from the peaceful villages, they eventually make their way back towards the coast with Chania and its famous old port on their agenda.
Ah, Chania. Now that's a city steeped in history, a blend of Venetian and Ottoman influences.
A real melting pot of cultures and architectural styles. But as they arrived at the harbor, they noticed a bit of a disconnect between the picturesque setting and the reality of a busy tourist hub.
It's that age-old dilemma, isn't it? Trying to balance the economic benefits of tourism with the preservation of a place's authenticity? Sometimes it can feel a bit overwhelming.
Especially in places like Chania that are so visually stunning and historically significant. But it sounds like they found a way to escape the crowds.
They did. They ventured away from the bustling harbor and got lost in the labyrinthine alleyways of the old town.
Now that's where you'll find the real hidden gems. The quieter corners, the local artisans, the family-run tavernas.
Exactly. It's like peeling back the layers and discovering the true heart of the city. But for the last full day in Crete, they decided to trade those winding alleyways for some open roads and rented bikes to explore the coastline.
What a fantastic way to experience the island. A bit more active, a bit more adventurous.
They cycle along those scenic coastal roads, soaking up the sun and the sea breeze. It sounds like the perfect way to reconnect with nature.
And their ride took them to a place called Malem, a site that carries a significant weight of history. It's where they encountered the German war cemetery, a somber reminder of the Battle of Crete during World War II.
It must have been a poignant contrast to the carefree atmosphere of their previous days. Suddenly they're confronted with the realities of war. The sacrifices made the human cost of conflict.
It's a reminder that travel can be so much more than just relaxation and adventure. It can also be an opportunity for reflection and learning about the complexities of the world we live in.
And to round off their day, they visited another war cemetery, this time the British War Cemetery in Ceuta. It seems like they intentionally bookended their day with these moments of remembrance.
Perhaps it was a way to acknowledge the weight of history while still appreciating the beauty and joy of their travels. A way to find balance.
Speaking of balance, their final Cretan memory was one of pure serendipity and breathtaking beauty.
Ah, yes, their discovery of Marathi Cove. It's like a hidden gem tucked away on the Cretan coast waiting to be discovered.
They described it as an unexpected taste of paradise, secluded beaches, crystal clear waters, and charming tavernas. What a perfect way to end their trip. Talk about going out with a bang, right?
Yeah.
Finding that secluded paradise.
It's like the perfect reward for all their exploring. A reminder that there are always those hidden gems waiting to be discovered.
So as we wrap up this incredible journey with Rob and Mandy, what stands out to you the most?
That's a good question. I think it's their willingness to embrace it all. You know, the food, the history, those quiet moments of reflection. They didn't shy away from anything.
They really seem to get that travel is about experiencing the full spectrum, right? Not just one thing.
Exactly. And it makes me wonder, what kind of traveler are you? Do you crave that blend of everything like Rob and Mandy? Or do you lean towards a particular type of travel?
It's a good question to ask ourselves, right? Maybe you're all about adventure, pushing those boundaries. Or maybe it's about connecting with history, those echoes of the past.
Whatever it is, the beauty of travel is that there's no right or wrong way to do it, as long as you're open to the experience, to the unexpected.
Well said. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Rob and Mandy's Cretan adventure. From those sun-drenched beaches to the heart of the island.
From ancient forts to those poignant war memorials, it's been a journey, hasn't it?
It really has. A huge thank you to you for joining us on this virtual trip to Crete. We hope you've been inspired to explore, to discover your own hidden gems, to embrace those unexpected moments.
Remember, the world is full of stories waiting to be told, so go out there, find yours.
Until next time, happy travels, everyone.
I do like flying where we never hide.
Out on the highway, chasing the tide.